Welcome to Lightning Ministries Daily Devotional. Today's topic, are you willing to listen? We're still reading from 2 Samuel, chapter 19, verses 1 through 7, talking about Absalom coming to where David is to attack him. I realize that in David's great wisdom, after he was asked to leave the city, did not hesitate. He did not want to have a conflict coming against Israel or Jerusalem. Now, David, though, here in this particular situation was in deep grief over his son's actions, listening to Joab's reprimand about putting aside his personal loss in order to lead the people in a well-mannered way. Throughout his 40-year reign, though, David repeatedly heeded the guidance that was godly. Now, was it easy for him? I don't think so. To hear the rebuke or those coming against him? I think not. But, of course not, I believe. But he was wise enough to know that on his own, he couldn't see the situation from all angles and needed advice from God. Now, you and I too should seek wise counsel from trustworthy people. Now, I guess my thought here is that you have any friends that you think are trustworthy to give you wise advice? I'm including directly in your own family. I think sometimes we want to believe that, but it's not going to happen in all cases. Sometimes we need outside wisdom too, because you and I are too close to the problem or the issue, and we need another perspective. Now, that's not to say that the other perspective is correct, as we would have probably found in Job when he had asked his friends what they thought, and they kind of told him, "What'd you do?" It wasn't about what he did, it was about what God was doing, and they didn't see that. But I realize at another point, you and I need to heavily not burden ourselves with life's hardships and be clear in our decisions and directions that take us in the right direction for what the Lord is doing. Now, in these days, or in those days, I should say, when you and I just didn't know what to do, and we didn't have the guidance from someone who we already walked with, and we're not willing to deal with the painful road that it was going to lead us in, we tried to find wise counsel. Now, what a gift it is to have people in your life who barely urge us, or you and I, to fulfill God's call and won't allow us to neglect our role. I don't think that's possible. But what frustrating problem are you facing today? Is it a loss of something? Is it something that's going on that's going to happen in the future that you're worried about? Whatever it may be, I would say, who would you think could help you see the situation in a more clarifying way? It's a good question. I would suggest that you ask God for wise friends or mentors to help you, and as well as a humble heart to receive the aid that God is sending your way. Now let me rephrase this particular thought. When we're seeking out the right wisdom for the situation or the circumstances that we're dealing with, I hope that we're not looking for an answer for something that we want it to go our way, but we're looking for honest, trustworthy friends and mentors and advisors to give us the direction that help us make the right decision based upon what God would have us do, not upon what we want to do. That's a mouthful. Look, life's short, and if you're like me, it's easier to make good decisions than it is to be hasty in making decisions hoping that they'll work out. Now, I know that sometimes we have to have life lessons, and I don't deny that we don't, because if we do make a mistake and we make a poor choice, or we make a bad decision, or we do the wrong thing, or whatever it happens to be at that point, We have to realize that God is going to redirect us and help us get through it. Do we suffer the consequences of that? Oh, yes, we do. But are we willing to forgive ourselves or seek forgiveness in ourselves and go on with the wisdom that we've been given to do the right thing or to correct what we did that was wrong? Forgiveness is hard for us. For me in this particular situation, as I began, are you willing to listen to God so that you don't make poor choices? And if you are, and I'm not saying you won't make a mistake, but at least the choices that you make won't be based upon what you thought, but will be based upon what you knew God asked you to do or what God is directing you to do. Regardless, thanks for listening. I hope in some way I've encouraged you today with what went on in David's life that can be applied to your life today. Don't be in a hurry to try to solve your own problems when God's working it out for you anyway. Have a blessed day and look forward to seeing you come back.